like a children's portion.
It's like a children's portion.
Honey as well.
What's this got to do with the cafe?
I'm showing you.
That's so dry. How's it like that? I feel as humans, we fundamentally gravitate towards a good gimmick. We love the novelty of something mundane being subverted into something that's fun or whimsical. The fact that a product like Jelly Bath is able to exist and has existed throughout my entire childhood to adulthood is a testament to this. Our societal love of gimmicks is what pushed parents to pay £35 to go to Willy's Chocolate Experience. And it's also why in the year 2025, we're resurrecting DashCon for DashCon 2. And of course, that does include the ball pit. Fandom and nerd culture especially thrives on these gimmicks. We love creating niche merchandise that otherwise wouldn't exist, or even better, having in-jokes relating to our fandom or in-person events. The multitude of unique art prints, crossover merchandise, and even just the existence of custom cosplays is all in a day's work for most people within fandoms. It's really not uncommon for something to happen at an anime convention or event and very quickly be turned into unique stickers and merchandise for people who are in the know. In fact, the sewage disaster of 2025's KatsuCon, where many vendors were showered with stagnant grey water from the Gaylord Hotel's kitchen, has already been immortalized into these fun Skatsucon pins by the artist Squirrel and Grub. And yes, my friend Puvithel is sending me one of these, so I will actually own a Skatsucon pin. But of course, when it comes to gimmicks, nowhere does it quite like Japan. In fact, when I was out there earlier this month, I got to experience Cat Day. This novelty holiday only started in 1978, specifically because the 22nd of February in Japanese sounds like the onomatopoeia for a cat's meow. And because of this cute coincidence, Cat Day was born. All of which meaning that a couple weeks before Cat Day, your local konbini will be overridden with cat-themed food and merchandise, including branded collaborations such as Mofusan and even delivery service Yamato Transport. Now, the cat-themed snacks themselves weren't any better than their usual counterparts, but of course the main draw for buying these was absolutely the aesthetic. After all, who doesn't want to take some Instagrammable photos of a paw print-themed bun or a really pretty but not so tasty Earl Grey cookie? Japan loves a good gimmick, whether that be a cute piece of Instagrammable food or a rainbow cheese pull to film for TikTok. But arguably it's their themed cafes that not only reign supreme but also draw the most international attention. Are the inflated food costs and impossible wait lists worth it? Well, luckily for you, I flew just under 6,000 miles to Tokyo to go to the Mezzo Piano x Angel Blue collaboration cafe, as well as do the tough boots on the ground research, aka eating cute food and spending way too much money. And speaking of spending way too much money, I for one know all about that. I love scouring all of my favorite hidden spots to find cool anime figurines, as well as hitting up popular fashion spots like Shibuya 109 or La Foray for my fix of cute clothes. If you couldn't already tell, my fashion and style is heavily influenced by Jfashion and Japanese pop culture. I mean, look at my room, look at my office. But unfortunately for me and many other fans, the UK has a lot of catching up to do when it comes to what's available, let alone some of the dastardly pricing that you'll find here. But thankfully, this is where Zen Market comes in clutch. You see, you don't have to wait years to shop your favorite Japanese fashion brands or finally purchase your white whale collectibles that you're hunting for, because Zen Market brings the experience of shopping in Japan straight to your door. With Zen Market, you have immediate access to Japanese Amazon, anime figurine and pop culture store Suragaya, and of course, my personal favorite, Mercari JP. Finding items like limited edition cafe-themed collaborative merch or even just cute clothes is all made really easy with Zen Market's simple interface and purchasing system. They even have the different websites very clearly laid out, including one section for any websites that don't have the 500 yen purchasing fee, saving you money and making shopping easier on a budget. I love how streamlined Zen Market makes shopping from Japan, how easy it is to find what I'm looking for. And between you and me, they even have a dedicated Vivienne Westwood tab under their Mercari JP section, which as you know is my Achilles heel, especially because Japan can quite often have region exclusive items, with shipping all of your purchases once they arrive to the Zen Market warehouse being as simple as a few clicks and just choosing your preferred shipping method. And then it's just time to put your feet up and let Zen Market do the rest. Maybe put your feet up watching one of my videos. Just this time round, I managed to pick up one of my dream horror figures for a really good price thanks to Zen Market. Not only saving me money, but also valuable suitcase space for when I next visit Japan. And you know, I couldn't help myself and I ended up picking up a small bundle of different clothing accessories and items that would fit really well with my existing wardrobe, including this super cute crown necklace from the brand Alice on Wednesday, this sailor coat from Travis Tokyo, and you know I'm a simp for a headdress, so I had to pick up another one in a slightly different colorway. And I can very happily say that these did not cost me an arm and a leg. Don't spend over the odds with resellers or risk your hard-earned cash on bootleg anime figures. Instead, just hop on over to Zen Market using the link down below in the description and use code ADDY for 1,000 yen off your international shipping fee. I love shopping in Japan, but best believe when I'm not there, my wallet and web browser are. Speaking of which, let's talk about some themed cafes. Now, before the mainstream popularity of spots like the Pokemon Cafe or the Kirby Cafe, the concept of theming your food or the environment of which you're eating it around a specific concept or style is nothing new, with themed restaurants and bars dating all the way back to at least the late 1800s. Although dating back even further throughout history, food sculptures and theming was always very popular amongst the wealthy and upper class. Ornate sugar sculptures and bread displays were available for those who could afford the privilege. In 1920s America, chains like the Brown Derby began to open up in California, using novelty exterior architecture to draw in hungry and curious clientele. The brown hat shape being an iconic testament to this shift in gimmick-led dining. Not far behind in the 70s, we were gifted the joy of iconic novelty pizza chain Chuck E. Cheese, the same exact chain that would go on to later inspire the iconic FNAF series.
What? Oh my god, no, 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 not like this, Freddy! Oh my god, are you serious? Are you serious right now? You cannot be serious. Freddy! Oh my god, Freddy!
Yes, I will mention FNAF at any opportunity. And of course, many other American classic gimmick restaurants came tumbling after, including ones like Medieval Times, the Hard Rock Cafe, the Rainforest Cafe, and of course, Margaritaville. Modern-day Disney parks market the hell out of their themed food stalls and their area-specific cuisine or areas to dine, with thousands upon thousands of YouTube and TikTok videos existing of park goers trying and comparing all of the mouse's offerings. Arguably, themed cafe and themed food has created its own niche genre of content creation, with some of these creators having really large followings purely because they try all of these themed and display foods. However, what sets apart most modern themed cafes compared to their permanently placed restaurant counterparts is a few key factors. Firstly, themed cafes are seldom ever permanent, usually only available for a limited amount of time before either being dismantled or being taken to a new location, usually meaning that a lot of the decoration within these cafes is more simple. Easy to remove artwork like wall decals, posters, or small statues is commonplace, which at times means that some of these cafes can look a little bit sparse or even disappointing to some fans, with some areas of the cafes being barely modified corners of an obvious pop-up store location. With these cafes being so limited and often so easy to move around, it can regularly mean that you don't even know a cafe is happening until you just stumble across it on your travels, at which point you're very likely already too late to get a seat. Which brings me on to the next big difference, which is your ability to actually get a seat or booking at these cafes. Because man, it is surprisingly difficult to actually get a seat or book a slot in order to attend. One of the main rules for visiting themed cafes in Japan is to make sure that you're there and available as soon as tickets go live. Because best believe Japanese nationals are there ready and waiting with their card as soon as the checkout is available. Not to mention that actually navigating the booking can be an absolute hellscape too if you don't understand Japanese or you're not in Japan, with some methods of booking simply not working if your IP or line account is anywhere outside the Japanese region. Again, I learnt this firsthand, hurriedly Google translating the webpage in a painfully slow speed and watching with heartbreak as the slot in your basket is immediately taken away because somebody else beat you to it. Cafes like the Ufotable Demon Slayer Cafe in Tokyo actually had to use a lottery system in order to manage the amount of people who were wanting to visit the cafe compared to the amount of slots that they had available. And there is a good reason why you can find dedicated tutorials and videos on YouTube on how to secure a spot at places like the Kirby Cafe, because again, it is stiff competition as soon as the booking is available. And unfortunately, I am still yet to go to the Kirby Cafe despite going to Japan quite regularly. I always miss my opportunity to book the Kirby Cafe. I've never been lucky enough to get a slot yet. And with the booking process being so cutthroat, it's also very likely that you'll never stumble across just walk-in slots being available, with the only exceptions usually being if the cafe is a more permanent residence or the cafe just simply hasn't blown up on places like TikTok or Instagram Reels. And this also applies for pop-up stores in general too. The shop can quite literally be near empty and yet you still won't be able to stand there and book a slot, let alone just walk in. And finally, another difference that you'll often encounter with themed cafes is the need to pay a deposit per seat booked. Now, sometimes this booking fee is taken off the meal total once you've actually attended and had your food, meaning that you've essentially just paid for part of your food before you've arrived. For example, this was always the case for the Brighton Artbox X Hello Kitty Cafe, where in order to attend you would pay a £5 per person fee, which would eventually be taken off the total of your meal by the end. Other times though, this fee is simply just for the reservation and nothing else, meaning that depending on the cafe, you're paying anywhere from about 500 to 2,000 yen per person just to have the ability to attend. Now, this is to avoid time wasters and to also make sure that the cafe isn't running a loss if people don't show up, but I won't lie, it can definitely make these cafes one of the most expensive mini meals that you'll have during your visit. So themed cafes in Japan are not only incredibly popular, but are also literally everywhere. No matter what time of year you choose to visit, you'll undoubtedly stumble across various different pop-up shops or even just come across a cute cafe that you're wanting to visit. These themed eateries are a popular marketing strategy for brands and IPs that are wanting to push new releases or offer the hardcore fans limited edition merchandise at a slightly inflated cost. However, the popularity of these cafes are also intrinsically linked to a deep-rooted culture within Japan, this being Oshikatsu. Now, for those who aren't in the know, Oshikatsu translates to fan behavior or supporting your favorite, with Oshi meaning favorite and Katsu meaning activity. This unique form of fan culture has existed in Japan for a very long while, being most commonly linked to the idol buzz of the 80s, with media such as Satoshi Kon's Perfect Blue in 1997 exploring the more extreme aspects of fan culture and Oshikatsu behavior. Recognizable items like eater bags, which are now enjoyed globally as well as catered to in many fandom spaces, originated from the late 90s and early noughties VK fans taking pictures of their favorites and cutting up magazines and photo cards and sticking them to their outfit and their bags. The idea of supporting your favorite character, person, or media is ingrained in Japanese day-to-day life. Even just catching a train in areas like Tokyo, you'll notice loads and loads of people with plush mascots and lovingly adorned pin badges all over their bags. In Oshikatsu and idol hotspots such as Akihabara or Shibuya, you'll find many stores selling accessories to keep your collectibles safe, such as ball chain locks, plush mascot covers, and even badge covers. And if you engage with idol or host culture within Japan, you may be familiar with the Oshi Uchiwa fans. You can buy these basic flat fans from places like Daiso and then customize them to send a message to your Oshi or to declare your love for them. Again, with this being a very popular choice within idol culture. Not to mention the existence of cheki, which are usually Polaroid or Instax photos, which can either be pre-made and you can just buy them online or at events, or if you want them to be more personal to you, you can also get cheki that are taken specifically where you are at an event or with your favorite. This open level of enthusiasm and love for your favorite IP or person or character is exactly why themed cafes work so well in Japan. It's a fun way of further enjoying the thing that you love and maybe getting a couple of cute Instagram photos to share with your friends. But for the hardcore fans, themed cafes can open up the perfect opportunity to flex your collection and dedication to your Oshi, taking super elaborate dedicated photos to post on the gram and share with other fans.
Your drink to a little photo spot, and you have a remote so you can control all the lights. And the staff was like giving me advice on the best way to shoot my drink.
And another key incentivization that can simply not go overlooked is the ability to get limited edition cafe exclusive merchandise that other fans can simply not get hold of if they don't attend the cafe. And if you are a loser that couldn't attend the cafe, enjoy spending double if not triple the cost to get hold of the exact same merchandise on the aftermarket. I am saying this as one of these losers who wasn't able to attend the Needy Streamer Overload collaboration cafe and now spends double or triple the cost on this merch. Although Oshikatsu and its trinketry nature has started to gain some steam here in the West, with the occasional big brand pop-up happening in a major city or in a Primark, generally speaking, themed cafes and their dominance is far more prevalent in places like Japan. Don't get me wrong, we would love more themed collaborations and pop-ups here, but at the minute we're just gonna have to settle with the Greg's Primark collab. Or actually any Primark cafe. I don't know why all of the pop-ups seem to happen within a Primark. I'm assuming it's because they got that fast fashion money. And so, this is why I travelled just under 6,000 miles from the UK to Tokyo in order to attend the Mezzo Piano, Angel Blue, Daisy Lovers, and Pomponette collaboration cafe happening in Shinjuku's Lumen East. Okay, technically I didn't travel to Japan just for that because that really would just be crazy work. Good clickbait title though. However, I was very keen to attend this cafe, having previously missed out on the last Mezzo Piano cafe in March 2024. And so, for all the Jfashion and pop culture weeaboos just like me who could not attend this collaboration cafe, I'm gonna do a pretty extensive review for you. Yes, this is the cafe review segment that you've been waiting all the video for. And I did get footage of the menu and of the food and of the pricing. So literally everything is covered in this video. Now, before we even touch the tiles of London Heathrow, we got in touch with our friend Mia, who is currently living and studying out in Tokyo. We assumed that Mia, out of any of us, would have the best chance of securing a booking. And to the tune of 660 yen per person, we were able to secure a slot for March 1st. Now, the venue for this cafe was Shinjuku's Lumen East building, which is rather conveniently connected to Shinjuku's underground train station. And in theory, this should mean that it's a pretty straight shot from getting off the JR line and going straight to the collaboration cafe. However, if you're familiar with Shinjuku Station, you'll know that this place is a huge maze of train lines, cafes, and crowds. Most tourists, myself included, often citing the Sacred Oracle or Google Maps to try and figure out which is the correct exit and still somehow ending up in a different hemisphere.
Oh my god, I almost died! No, almost died. That was so scary. Thank you.
It's okay. It's all right. It's all right.
So the fact that we actually found the cafe within 10 minutes was purely by luck. I wish I could claim it was by skill, but honestly, I'd be lying. And so, arriving bang on 4:30 p.m, me and my friends arrived at the rather unassuming cafe. And we also had 90 minutes on the clock to order, eat, and leave. Now, adding a time limit to your stay at the cafe might feel a bit harsh, but honestly, they're pretty commonplace for themed cafes, even here in the UK, as well as just being pretty commonplace for a lot of eateries in Japan. And so, although we were on a bit of a time crunch, this wasn't unexpected. Once seated, we were each given a limited edition sticker sheet featuring all the characters from the collaboration cafe. In my mind, this kind of accounts for the booking fee that we each paid, especially because these stickers are exclusive to the collaboration cafe. And before taking in any more of the cafe surroundings, we loaded up the cafe's digital menu using the QR code that was given to our table and started checking out what food was available. Now, an important thing to note is that you could only order once for your table, meaning that if you'd already submitted your order but you forgot to add something or you wanted another drink, you were out of luck. So take it as a word of caution to always make sure to read your menu carefully and add absolutely anything that you're thinking that you might want, even if it's later in the meal, because you never know if your cafe will also have the same rule in place. Now, if you're a picky eater, themed cafes may not be for you because they usually have a pretty limited menu. Understandably, creating a full spread of highly decorated and customized food is just not realistic for most venues. And so normally you'll have a pretty small set of options in order to choose from. And this cafe in particular definitely had one of the smallest I've seen, with only two main savory dishes consisting of a berry-chan themed fish pasta or a pomponet cream rice curry, with the pasta dish costing 1,390 yen and the curry setting you back 1,490 yen. For comparison, a standard pork cutlet curry at popular food chain Koko Ichiran would set you back just under 1,000 yen, including tax. Now, initially, this isn't a massive difference or a big deal, but as you'll see, this does tend to add up. But you know what? I've got more of a sweet tooth anyway, and so the desserts and the drinks were of far more interest to me and most of my friends. And thankfully, drink-wise, there was actually a pretty big selection consisting of 4 cold drink options and 1 hot coffee. The cold drinks were Berry's Peach Lactic Acid, Nakamura's Lychee Soda, Mince Pine Lactic Acid, and Lucky's Passion Fruit Soda, with the coffee just being a simple latte with cute latte art on top of it. And all of the above drinks, including the hot coffee, were 890 yen each. And as for desserts, you had 3 very cute options to choose from. The fruit sandwich and ice cream for 1,390, Nakamura's Rainbow Parfait for 1,290, and Rookie's Tropical Pancakes with mango and banana for 1,390. And so, as a group, we came to the incredibly tough decision to order 1 of each item on the menu, meaning that we got to experience and photograph everything that they could offer. If you're wondering what I personally went for the unpopular fish pasta, the Nakamura's Lychee Soda, and Nakamura's Parfait, which, again, if you couldn't tell, Nakamura and Angel Blue are my favorite from the collaboration, taking my total, including the initial booking fee, to 4,230 yen. And so, with our order submitted and time ticking down, let's touch upon the decorations within the cafe itself, because honestly, they were just okay. Now, as I stated earlier, these cafes are designed to be easy to put up and easy to take down, and so that does inevitably limit what can actually be used as decor. And in general, the decor was actually really cute, with all of the art and imagery, including the character designs, being exclusive and limited to this specific collaboration cafe. In the middle of the cafe, there was this cute little projector playing these animated intros, and all of the tables in this cafe also featured the cute artwork as part of the table decoration. However, despite how cute the artwork was, and to be fair, it was really cute, outside of the projector and the decorations on the walls and tables, the cafe kind of felt empty, with the monochromatic white and black walls of the original pop-up store still being very visible throughout the entirety of the cafe. There was also no dedicated space for photos or selfies, which I know doesn't sound like a big deal, but as I'll go on to explain, kind of does take off a few points as well when it comes to this cafe. And very quickly, with the food arriving in dribs and drabs, we wanted to make sure that we were actually taking photos and videos of all the cute decorations before we tucked in. I mean, how could I visit this cafe without taking some cute Instagram photos? Now, I don't know if it was because I had lower confidence that day because the outfit I initially planned to wear had food spill on it during my breakfast that morning, but getting a cute selfie, at least at our table, was a challenge. The harsh overhead lighting of the pop-up venue was doing me, and I don't think anyone else, any favors, with my seat in particular somehow being situated right under a spotlight. All of the cute decor had other tables in front of them, and I didn't feel it was socially appropriate or just okay to impose myself in other people's mealtime in order to take a cute photo. And so the only real photos I got of the food or of me at this cafe are quite washed out and quite harsh lighted. In my opinion, it would have been really cool to have had a dedicated photo space somewhere within this cafe. Even if you couldn't take your food over there to get photos, it would have just been nice after the fact to go and take a cute selfie with your friends before leaving the cafe. Now, thankfully, there was actually a collaboration pop-up shop for the exact same characters happening a short walk away from the cafe. And so after eating, me and my friends did actually go and get some really cute photos there, and as you can probably tell, the lighting was significantly better. You're probably crying from behind the screen, Addie, I don't care about about the fact that you couldn't get a cute selfie. How was the food? Was the food good? Was the food bad? Was it worth the money? Let's talk about it. Starting off with the main savory course, the berry-chan fish pasta, I can happily report that it arrived warm and plated beautifully, looking exactly like it did on the menu photos and in the adverts for the cafe. The same can be said for the pomponet curry rice, which was arguably the better looking of the two. The flavour of the berry-chan fish pasta was good, being a pretty easy meal to eat down quite happily. Although trying my friend's leftover curry, I would once again say that the pomponet curry was the better of the two choices. Although as we were eating these dishes, my friend Kira very accurately pointed out that the quality of the food was very similar to the food that we'd had on our airline in economy. Not to say that they were bad dishes, but just that they weren't particularly special or amazing quality for the cost that you're paying. And although this could be attributed to the fact that I come from a Western country where portions are notoriously bigger, I will just say from my experience that this meal was more kid-sized as it was adult-sized.
It's like a children's portion. It's like a children's portion.
Beyond the cute aesthetic, they really did just taste like Tesco microwave meals in kid-sized portions. Next up were the drinks, and I'm actually really happy to report that all of these were yummy. Like I said before, I had the Nakamura lychee soda and it was delicious, albeit once again a pretty small portion for what it was. Let me just say that I am tired of cafes and restaurants adding obscene amounts of ice to my cold drinks in order to reduce the amount of actual liquid that they can put in there. I just wanted a normal sized soda with my meal, and especially because you can't order another drink, I did find myself getting a little bit thirsty and resorting to the water that we had on the table. But despite my gripes about the size, everybody did find it yummy and nobody had any complaints. Now finally it was dessert time, and this was a bit of a mixed bag. Now my Nakamura parfait was actually really good and I had no complaints whatsoever. It looked fantastic and I liked every single element that was within the parfait. For anybody curious about what the parfait was, it was this stacked up combination of flavoured jelly cubes, cornflakes surprisingly, and topped off with candy floss. I had zero complaints and ate it up very quickly and very happily.
This is good. It's like sorbet. Yeah. So like the blue is like a sour sorbet, and you've got like jelly.
I think you've got a sensory sundae.
I have.
It's got cornflakes in it. It's got all the flavours,
It does.
all the textures. It's got jelly, it's got ice cream, it's got
There's so much
cornflakes.
going on. Oh! Oh, look at my hair. Oh, it's a sensory nightmare. The sensory Sunday's now a sensory nightmare. Oh.
I think it's cute. You look like a little like candy floss rabbit.
Like Nosferatu eating a corpse.
A candy goblin. There's a lot happening here.
In a good way.
Yeah. I think so.
My friend Kira chose the fruit sandwich and again didn't have any complaints and seemed to really enjoy it, even if again the size was pretty small for what it was. However, it was the pancakes that Mia and Cal chose that was a bit of an outlier. Easily being the biggest portion size out of the three, I expected it to be the most delicious as well. I actually kind of regretted my choice when I saw it arrive to the table. However, as feedback began to come in from both Mia and Cal, I noticed them starting to reach for the water more and more. Because guys, these pancakes were ungodly dry.
How's yours?
Yeah. It's good. A little dry. A little dry. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, it's good. That's great. No hydration in my throat at all.
They probably could have given you less pancake.
There's a lot of pancake.
Like some
You
maple
get a good
syrup.
portion.
Yeah, definitely.
It tastes more like a sponge cake though. It's got the consistency of a sponge cake and the dryness of a cupcake.
I see, this is actually quite refreshing.
I don't think I could deal with having random cornflakes.
I don't really get why they have the cornflakes in there, but you know, we move.
Cal finished his stack of pancakes, but at what cost?
Cal, what did you think of yours?
It's a solid 4.
Not that good.
Nah, it's not great.
No.
The pancakes in 7-Eleven are better.
Yeah, the ones we got this morning.
Yeah.
It's because they had butter on them.
Yeah.
And Mia ended up tapping out before they could finish, meaning that I got to have a go on the pancakes.
Are you finished?
Yeah, I'm done.
You really done?
I'm good.
You going for some pancakes now.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm dehydrated.
I'm honing
from
in.
the pancakes.
Be careful with the rest of it though. It does
careful.
get dangerous.
Oh my god, it's dry though.
It does.
See what I mean? They just
Oh, that's
disintegrate.
dry.
Yeah.
That's fucking dry.
It actually just turns to dust.
I think it's okay.
That's dry.
I say we go on and dash.
Excuse me?
There's the exit.
The cream and toppings on the pancakes was really, really yummy, but the pancakes themselves had little to no moisture within them. I cannot stress to you how dry these pancakes were. It was like biting into mouthfuls of insulation foam. Like, they were soft and fluffy, but somehow they didn't have a single ounce of moisture within them, and they just made your mouth go so starchy and dry so quickly. And so even with my determination, I ended up not being able to finish the remainder of the pancakes that Mia couldn't finish either.
What do you rate your meal?
The first one, like, probably about 6 out of 10 as well.
Yeah.
Also, my dessert was just a sandwich with cream in it. So maybe like 4.
Really?
It was okay. The fruit saved it.
And so with our food finished to an average reception, we paid on card and made our way over to the exclusive gift shop. Now, for reference, this shop was actually cash only, despite the cafe actually accepting cards. So if this was later on in my trip, there's a good chance I wouldn't have had any cash on hand to be able to buy anything. I love a trinket and a souvenir. The worms in my brain compel me to spend money, especially when I'm in Japan. The term limited edition or collaboration wake me up like a sleeper agent. Although I was a bit bummed out that they didn't have a plush mascot keychain or just plushies available, because I feel like for the brands that this collaboration was involving, that would just kind of be something that they would offer, but oh well, it's fine. And as for the rest of the items, it was majoritively stationery. Items like clear files, sticky notes, as well as small day-to-day accessories like this compact mirror for 2,200 yen, blind bag keychains for 880 yen, and a mystery gacha badge for 660 yen per turn. And I'm actually just gonna say this now, and I'm gonna insert it here, but I am so burnt out from godforsaken blind bags. I understand why they have them, but for a cafe that is limited edition and has a time limit on how long you can stay there, not to mention that it's cash only, it just feels like doing blind bags is a little bit cheap and unfair on the customer. Plus, you can't nip out and get cash and come back. Once you've left the cafe, you're done. You can't return. If you got a blind bag but you didn't get the character you wanted but can't afford another go, that's it. You're out of luck. That's what you get. It didn't stop me doing it though, don't worry. In all seriousness, I actually withheld myself from going too crazy, only getting the angel blue compact mirror, 1 blind bag keychain, and 1 gacha pull. Pulling from the gacha, I ended up receiving the pomponette badge, which was honestly my least favorite out of all of the options. But thankfully the keychain brought it back because I actually got my first choice, which was Nakamura from Angel Blue. And so in total, including the booking, the food, and the gift shop, I spent 7,970 yen, which at the time of recording is around £42 or $54. But ladies and jelly beans, was it worth it? I feel like it's an unspoken understanding that when it comes to themed cafes, you're paying for the aesthetic and the experience as opposed to the quality or the portion size of the food. That doesn't mean that if the food tastes bad that it's somehow justified, because obviously if it's bad food, and a cafe shouldn't be serving bad food. But if I've learned anything from attending themed cafes over the years or watching Emery Chu's attempts at trying out all the cafes near her, is that quite often these themed cafes will leave you feeling hungry. They're not there to provide you a fulfilling meal. More often, they're just there to be photographed and enjoyed as a fan. I spent 4,230 yen or $29 at the Mezzo Piano cafe on my food. That was for 1 small drink, 1 small main, and 1 dessert. And in comparison, a few nights later, I spent 4,180 yen at Momo Paradise. This being for 100 minutes of all-you-can-eat beef and pork shabu shabu and sukiyaki, with an unlimited soft drink refill for an additional 550 yen. And even that is a more expensive than usual meal out in Japan, because you can really easily get a full-size meal of noodles or curry with a drink for under 2,000 yen, including tax, at a lot of chain restaurants. Themed cafes are fundamentally overpriced for the food and the quality that you typically receive. But of course, it's up to you as to whether you feel the aesthetic and support of your favorite is worth that cost. There is value and fun to be had at themed cafes, and I'd be lying if I said that I didn't enjoy going there with my friends. Not to mention that once again, getting limited edition collaboration exclusive merchandise is also worth it for a lot of collectors like myself. I absolutely enjoy getting my pom-pom pudding cuddy at Purolan, or even just buying a cute paw print bun at my local konbini for Cat Day. I'm not immune to the excitement and whimsy of seeing my favorite Chikawa characters dressed up in cute outfits and having their artwork plastered all over a cafe or restaurant. To be honest, if you have the ability to go to these cafes, I think it's worth trying out, even if it's just for the experience and the photos that you get to leave with. My only warning is that if you do go to a themed cafe, you're probably going to want to eat again pretty shortly afterwards. And if you do have some limiting dietary needs or requirements, it's worth checking in advance if you can whether the menu can accommodate you. But let me know down below, what do you think of themed cafes? Have you ever been to a themed cafe in your home country or in Japan? And And if you have been to a themed cafe, what did you think of the food? Was it better or worse than usual? Did they charge really high prices, or did you have a nightmare trying to book it? And also let me know, if you had to pick one themed cafe that you'd love to attend, even if it's one that's never existed, what would you choose? Personally, I would love to go to a Cereal Experiments Lane themed cafe. And if I was designing the menu myself, I would definitely try and make sure that there was a cake in the shape of a television or computer monitor. You can even have the cables coming out of the TV and monitor cake being something like strawberry laces. Let me plan a collaboration cafe. Once again, I want to thank today's video sponsor Zen Market for supporting my content and sponsoring this video. But I also want to give a big thank you to you guys, because watching this video and commenting down below is the easiest and cheapest way of supporting what I do. I also love engaging with the comments and seeing what you guys get up to, because I do check in and see what's happening. But of course, if you love my videos and supporting what I do, then hit that bell icon down below and click the subscribe button to never miss an upload. And be sure to check out my Instagram and TikTok, where I upload photos and videos every single day. Once again, thank you for supporting this video. Thank you for leaving a comment down below. And if you haven't already, why not go and leave a comment? And as always, it's time for the outfit check and the end of the video fan art. Now this week's outfit check, just like last week's, has a lot of new items that I got when I was in Japan. But starting off at the top, we have my goggles, which you've seen before, and I got many years ago on AliExpress. Around my neck, I have two Vivienne Westwood necklaces, including the Grisalia necklace and the standard small orb. Now this cute shirt that I've got underneath my vest top is actually a Zara piece, but I got it secondhand at a book off in Japan for like £2.50, which is insane because it's literally in perfect condition. I don't even think it's been worn before, but it works really well as a nice underlayer for a cute cardigan or a nice blouse. And speaking of which, this vest top right here is actually from Pomponette Jr., which is a kids brand, I believe, more so for teenagers, I think. But I actually got this at a Mezzo Piano outlet in Japan. I did not realize that Mezzo Piano and Angel Blue and all of these brands have outlets, and I feel like a lot of people don't talk about it. But yeah, this was at an outlet where we found a bunch of really good Mezzo Piano, and so yeah, I ended up picking up this vest top and another vest top from the brand Pomponette Jr. Now once again, like some of my previous videos, I kind of feel like I'm giving business on the top and leisure on the bottom, because these shorts really don't match this outfit, but I just wore them because they're comfy. I didn't want to wear a skirt for like 2-3 hours of filming, and so I just put on these shorts because they kind of match the grey on the vest top. But again, not my biggest slay. Let's just look at the outfit from the top upwards, because I think it's easier to appreciate. But yeah, this is today's outfit check. I hope you've enjoyed, and thank you once again for all of the fan art. If you want to submit any fan art, go over to Instagram and make sure to tag my account, Harajuku, and I will try my best to feature any fan art that I get in my videos. Bye!